That is Helix. That is off their new album that's going to be coming out on January the 23rd. It's called Scrap Metal. And there's a whole story behind the writing of this album. There's a whole bunch of really, really cool stuff that's a backstory to this. And I don't think a lot of people can appreciate the backstory that's behind an album until they talk to people that help write the album, help conceive tracks on the album, all those things. And this guy has done work with Helix before. He's I think he's an alumnus of the Spodes. I don't know if I think he knows what I'm talking about there. And this guy has written a lot of songs. He's played a lot of music over the years. He's most notably the current guitar player for Lee Aaron. He travels all over the place, gets to meet a lot of cool people, gets to play a lot of whole cool shows, and he looks like a freaking rock star. His name is Sean Kelly, and I'm going to welcome to the show right now. Hey, Sean. Let's get you up there.
How's it going? I look more like a lumberjack now, I think, but I'm still on winter break mode. I'm in studio mode. I'm in hibernating mode.
You got that Canadian checkered look going on there.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I actually made a post. You know, the grunge movement hurt me so bad I couldn't wear plaid. But really, I'm from North Bay, and we were wearing plaid before I ever heard of Seattle.
I got to get you one. I got to get you one of these.
Oh, there you go.
It's a toque.
Oh, there you go.
It's a toque. Are you going to be going able to get to the show on the 18th?
I am working on it. I desperately want to be there. I think it's going to be such a great time, and I'm so proud of, you know, that I was able to contribute to this record, and I'd love to be there. So we are working on it. You know, let's see how much of this pile of work I've got down here, and
I got to tell you a funny story. Might as well tell this story live on the show because a lot of people probably don't even know I had this conversation. So I had a conversation with Brian Vollmer. We're back and forth on the release because, you know, he's been working with Tom on the release of the CD and doing the physical release of the vinyl because we pressed 300 units of vinyl for this.
Yeah.
I helped a little bit with funding on that project, so I earned my label on the back of the record.
Great.
Which is kind of cool. It's good. It's just appears on the vinyl, and we're doing all the digital distribution. And I already told you like how great these songs are already doing. Stuck in the 80s.
Yeah, man. I you know, that tune. It's been so wonderful to see the organic response to it. You know, for our genre, listen, I don't think it's just about pure numbers in the classic rock world. It's about the engagement and the fact that the people who are diving into these new songs that Helix has put out are not only listening to them once, but connecting with them, reaching out, wanting to talk about it, wanting to share about their own experiences in the 80s. That's what's wonderful to me. And that's what really makes the classic rock community in Canada so successful. It's the commitment and the communication we have with those fans who keep coming out to all the shows, keep supporting it, and the family that we have. All the bands in Canada, we all know each other and love each other and work together. You know, I feel so lucky to be a part of that community.
Yeah, I'm. You know, it's really cool that you use the word engagement because it's something I talk about a lot on the show. I talk about it with clients as well. And I said, you know, one of the most important things you can ever do as an artist is find ways to engage with your listeners.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think that's the thing that Helix has been able to do over the years. It's why I think they've survived so much adversity in the world of rock and roll. You know, it's not a kind. It is not a kind industry.
It's not. And you know what? I find that the people who survive it and keep doing it are the good people, and the people who find the other good people and you know, feed off the positivity of good people. You know, like any business, really, there's lots of snakes and there's, you know, crabs under the rocks, and it can be really cutthroat, but it's a type of business that requires constant evolution and constant reimagining and constant reassessment of what's important to you as an artist. What do you want to do?
Yeah, and I think that goes. It kind of goes to one of Brian's songs, "Skin in the Game."
I wrote that with him.
I mean, you know what that means. I mean, having some skin in the game is really, really important in terms of longevity, being able to survive those things, being able to find your way to work through those things. You're a veteran. This is not your first rodeo doing all this stuff. How long have you been playing music? How many years have you been playing music?
I have been playing, well, I just turned 53 and I got my first guitar when I was 13. So 40 years of playing guitar. You'd think I'd be better by now. But but I learned 3 chords and I got in a band and that was it. So I just played those ones. I found the 4 that worked. I won't lie. There's a 4th chord.
I really feel bad because I was so late in my life discovering you.
Oh, well.
As a musician,
did not discover me.
No, man. When we went the way back in Kitchener and saw you play with Lee Aaron,
right?
I was impressed by your showmanship, by your skill on the guitar. I mean, you're carrying a lot on your shoulders. Coming up with the right riffs for those songs, and making it all work. As part of the band. I mean, you guys got a really great formula up there.
Well, you know what? I will say this. I am so, grateful to be playing with that group of people, with Lee Aaron, Canadian icon, obviously, incredible writer, but also Dave Reimer on bass, John Cody on drums. There's something special when the 4 of us play together. And I'm really thrilled that you noticed that.
Oh,
I feel it. And it's funny because often in the older Lee Aaron material, there were 2 guitar players and a keyboard.
That's right.
So the challenge is, how do you take the best and the parts written by the great John Albany, right?
Right.
And later on, the guys from Sons of Freedom, Knox from Psychedelic Furs, all these great guitar players who've been involved with Lee. It's the judicious choosing of what's the main part, but also understanding the space and leaving space for the other people to play and sing and create this 4-piece thing. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, I can see just the joy you have doing what you do when I've seen you on stage, and you bring that energy into the writing with this song with Brian. Where did the concept for Stuck in the 80s come from, the song?
Well, like anything with Brian and I, when we write, a lot of it comes with a title. And Brian is amazing. He comes in with titles, he'll bring in the paper. A lot of our writing sessions, start with him showing up at my door early in the morning with a coffee and newspaper. We'll just flip through the paper and we're just looking at Skin in the Game. I think it was a Warren Buffett article. We were looking at it. I go, Skin in the Game. That's a cool title. And he has a real knack for that, but something that's going to sing as a hook and a chorus. And he had that. Like we were talking about, it'd be great to write just a big pounding anthem. It was designed to be sung in hockey arenas, right? Like it was something that was going to be anthemic, easy to sing, and not a little reminiscent of Motley Crue. I have no problem. Listen, the best songwriters are thieves, and I'm getting to be a better thief, I think, as I go.
It's really funny. So that leads to 2 stories with me and Brian. So one of the stories was after this came out and the singles started doing so well, I called him and I said, down in Florida, I called him and I said, you got to do an album release party. And I have an idea. You need to go and do it at East Side Bar and Grill in London. It holds 300 people. It's full production, lighting, everything. All you got to do is supply the back line, and you're going to get the venue for free. I mean, why not, right?
Yeah, great venue. I played there a few times. Love it.
Yeah, it's got great sound, right? It's a nice venue to do a live electric show and an album release. It's intimate enough that people are going to feel honored to be there that night because there's only going to be 300 seats.
Yeah. And you know what? I've had it. I played there once with Lee Aaron, which was a great show. And once with a band called Trapper I'm in with. That's kind of having a little hiatus, but I always will keep it going with M. Griner. And yeah, that you're right. It's an intimate room, and I think for an album release party, it's perfect, and it will be special. And you're going to get people there who not only are there fans of the band, they're also family. They know each other. They're all connected. So I think it's going to be a very special night.
Yeah, when Stuck in the 80s came out, when we decided to put that release out, and it was really, really weird because we were all set to do all the digital releases, right? And then came this big press release that was going to come as a result of the CD release.
Right.
So we had to back everything way up, and we had to like maintain radio silence until all of the pitching went out on this, because Tom Mathers from Paris Records really, really went to bat for Brian on this in terms of handling the CD sales into the US and Canada and into Europe. And he handles only CDs. And this is kind of the first time we actually did a coordination between myself and another label that does just physical media, right? And then we had this three-way weird thing going on where we were doing vinyl as well.
Yeah.
That was primarily Brian's project. I was involved in it to some degree, but that was primarily Brian's project. And then mine was looking after the digital.
Mm-hmm.
So we figured we'd get this on all three fronts, right?
Yeah. Well, fantastic.
But it was one of those things that it was a real learning for all of us.
Yeah, and I think that this is the reality of the modern music business, but it's also the gift of the modern music business. It's not a one and done, and you hope that it all worked. You can try things, you can experiment, and it's like a chef in the kitchen, right? You're trying a little bit of this and a little bit of that to find the formula that connects. And I think it's really cool, and I think there's a great freedom right now in music and distribution. And, as much as there's a lot of negative things you can say about how things went down with the music industry in the last 20, 30 years, for sure. But I think there's a lot of, especially to be able to sit here in my little basement in Toronto and make records that get released around the world. Like, I just did a record down here for a guy named Rick Hughes. I played guitar on it, it just came out in Japan. Rick Hughes is a singer of the band Sword. John Webster produced it, a great record called Redemption, and, the fact that we can share information, high quality music files, and put our music out instantly everywhere and have conversations like this, where people are engaged and watching right now and then can go and listen to the single on iTunes. I think that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah. We got a couple of questions. Mike Muscat is a bassist in Windsor. He has this comment question. Hey, Sean, as someone who's written a lot of original material myself, I'm curious. When you're writing, what tells you a song is finished versus just good enough to stop working on it?
Oh, that's a good question. What do they say? You don't finish a song, you abandon it. It's like a record, right? It's like, oh, I guess it's good. But honestly, I tend to, it's good to have guidelines, good to have parameters and deadlines. And one thing I like about working with Brian is he sets deadlines. I want to get this record out by this date. And then it's a work back. And, Lee Aaron works the same way. We'll kind of take a work backwards from when we want to have a release. A release is a wonderful goal. So that helps, right? You've got to get things done. And really, I mean, for me as a writer, I write in a very 70s and 80s style of writing with a little bit of the 90s thing. I come from the Beatles and Cheap Trick and Big Star and, all those types of classic kind of pop songwriter things, right? Where, intro, verse, chorus, bridge, I kind of know what the shape's going to be. It's really just finding the thing that sparks you, right? And as far as when it's done, sometimes it's just an unspoken feeling between the writers. If you're collaborating, where it's just like, yeah, this feels like a complete statement. We've said what we want to say. That's what's wonderful about pop songs. You kind of you have an emotion, the core emotion of the song in your chorus, and then you can color it. You don't want to color it too much to take away from that core thing, right?
You use that word collaboration, and we got a collaborator right there on screen right now, Jay Panasico. He says, "Hey, gents."
Jay, talented man.
Jay is the guy responsible for that video that you saw tonight. And I wanted to thank Jay for sending that on into our drive. And I told Brian I'd play it on the show. The goal this month, and it was prior to the beginning of the year on the show, was to really help promote this album, because I think it's going to be a big year for Helix. Not only from the album standpoint, we've seen the digital do very, very well. I think I think right now, Stuck in the 80s is got about roughly 30 some odd thousand streams just on Spotify. So if I was just to do an aggregate guess, probably about 50,000 streams so far. And when you look
25, I just saw 26,000 YouTube views of that video. Like,
yeah, I mean, when you look at all the ways that song has been used already, it's getting a ton of notice out there. And you know, it's you know, it's been streamed several thousand times just in the last few days. So
to, like, I guess playlists and people picking it up and sharing it, you know, like that's an amazing thing, right? That people, I don't know if people really understand the power of that, you know, how it kind of can grow exponentially just through people sharing playlists and then people finding specific things that speaks to a specific feeling or vibe, you know?
Yep. Just on that one song alone, we got 10,132 people interacting with that track right now.
Wow, that's amazing. And the power of the analytics too, to find out where those people are. And then you target your business towards that, right?
That's my thing, brother.
You're selling t-shirts in Palookaville or
you're giving away my secret sauce.
Hey, man, it's all out there. It's all knowledge, right?
That's right. 1,184 playlist ads since it was released so it was released January 12th. So this is a song that's been out roughly 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, December 12th. Yeah.
Right. 958 times already that it's been saved into people's playlists or personal libraries. But the playlist ads is what gets me here, right? I mean, you know, 1,184 playlist ads. That's just in 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
So you look at those stats and you go, this thing, and of course, you know, when I look at my dashboards, it's like keep building the momentum, right?
Yeah.
You know, when I go back and look at the interfaces and take a look at the stuff, and Jay is mentioned here too, the Fast and Furious videos coming out on the 14th.
Yeah, Brian just told me, I was just speaking with Brian this morning. He said he's very excited about it.
Yeah, I just sent Jay the encoded master for that. So we do now on videos. This is something relatively new in the digital world. For a long time, people weren't using wave masters in the soundtracks on their videos on YouTube or whatever. They were using MP3s.
Yeah.
Right? We're using encoded wave masters now.
Wow.
So if the platform is playing the video in lossless content, you're actually hearing everything that the wave master has to offer.
That's fantastic. Well, it always jumps out of the speakers when I throw it on the video. That's
cool. I mean, you put it on. I have a set of very, I'm wearing them tonight. A very set of really, really great in-ear monitors.
Oh, okay.
And I use them a lot for mixing music.
Yeah.
For you know, small form factor, because you know 98% of music now is listened to off a smartphone.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So when you think about that, and now, you know, people slide their phone into the Bluetooth cradle and play through their Bluetooth. They can stream, you know, there's so many good data plans now. You can stream songs off your own website. We stream right off our website.
For sure.
It's crazy. So Stuck in the 80s came about. Was there an idea behind the song?
Just honestly to like celebrate, it kind of reconnect with that great feeling we all had when that music was new, when that music was the most popular form of music, in Western culture, really, and Eastern culture, Japan, all over the world. Heavy metal and hard rock was the thing, and it was a special time. It was that cultural zeitgeist, right? The dawn of MTV. Everything was bigger, brighter, flashier. More's more, as Yngwie Malmsteen would say, right?
Here's a nice, really piece of validation here. I love this one here. I first saw you play at a cool bar in Barrie called Revolver, opening for the Killer Dwarfs and Vince Neil.
Oh, yeah.
Two buddies of mine in North Bay that know you from high school. Then I saw you with Lee Aaron here in Ottawa, Canada, a few years ago.
Oh, wow. I got to tell you, that band Revolver, that featured Nick Walsh from Slick Toxic. And Nick is a dear friend of mine and one of the greatest singers, man. Like, talk about, and a great guitar player, talented dude.
Happy New Year 2014.
What's that?
Happy New Year 2014.
Oh, yeah, geez. Did he sing on that?
Yes, he did.
Wait, did I play bass on that?
I think you played bass on that one.
Yeah, that's right. We'll drink beers Brent Turner. We'll drink beers in 2014. Talk about a hook. And we did. I think Brent Turner and I did drink some beers in 2000.
It was fun. It was funny because I said to him, "What happened to all the other teen years?"
Yeah, that was it. You couldn't talk 2014.
You guys did 2013 and 2014, and I think the 2014 one was my favorite one of both of them.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. I remember going and Brent. I think he had just gotten back his Wild in the Streets guitar. And so I remember sitting there in the basement. It's funny working with these guys because, they were heroes of mine. Helix was the first band I ever saw in concert. Helix.
I couldn't believe it when Brent sent me the videos of those two videos of you in those videos with him doing the Spodes. I'm like, what? That's Sean Kelly? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
And then I called Brent and I'm like, how did that happen? Like, he's Sean and I've been friends for a long time. I call him up and said, hey, I got this fun project to do.
Yeah, man. I love Brent. And, it's funny. I just interviewed him for my new book and the stories, I couldn't print half of them in the book, but they were good stories.
He and Brian and I, we spend hours talking about stories, right? And I tell them stories from the other side of things when I went to their shows as a young guy growing up.
Yeah.
And some of the shit that I saw happening, I can remember being at one of the biggest bar brawls at a Helix show.
Oh my God.
It erupted so bad that the cops cleared the place out.
Wow. And the band played on.
The band played on, and Brian said, I remember somebody stealing the cigarette machine out of the hotel and dragging it down the street. And I said, yeah, not only did they take it down the street, they smashed it, took all the smokes and money out of it.
I've only been involved in one of those in my life. It was at the White Oaks Inn in Temiskaming. And I remember some guy was trying to paddle a canoe down the street. Like he had managed to get the canoe off someone. And it was one of those full brawls. And my dad, I'll tell you, this is a funny story. My dad at the time worked at the mill in Temiskaming, and he heard about it the next Monday. And he came in and was, what the hell were you doing at the White Oaks Inn? I was like, because I was playing in bars underage, right, when I was a kid.
Oh, wow.
I was playing top 40 with older guys, right? And that was, yeah. So I can relate.
My God. That's too funny. I mean, doing your shows. Now, you play primarily with Lee Aaron right now, right?
Well, I'm also a member of Coney Hatch, a band called Coney Hatch.
Right. Are they playing much these days?
Not too much. We did our last show of in November 2025. We did a special unplugged show. But Coney they just reissued the 40th anniversary of the debut album, gold selling debut album on Anthem. So that's what's been kind of going on in the Coney camp. But yeah, mostly Lee Aaron is kind of the main act. I also play in a project with Carl Dixon, an acoustic duo called Northern Strum that started off just as kind of a fun thing we did as a corporate thing, and we're now booking theater shows, and it's going quite well. And we're going to be working on a new record. And Northern Strum is just Carl and I. It's acoustic guitars, but we do Canadian classic rock. So it's like an acoustic arena rock show.
That's funny because I think one of my first, way back in the day, first acquisition of emerging bands was an album of Coney Hatch.
Oh wow, yeah, what a band! Amazing.
Yeah, amazing band, amazing history of that behind that band, and you got to be you're a part of it now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, another one of those pinch me moments. Like I was telling you earlier, the first concert I saw was Helix and Honeymoon Suite. I have had a chance to play with both those bands and write songs with both those bands. I have songs I've written be on albums with both those bands, like Dream Come True stuff, and with the Conies too. We had the live Postcards from Germany record come out on Anthem a couple of years ago.
Right,
amazing. And I also work with Alan Frew from Glass Tiger in his 80 to 90 Rewind project, which is
right.
a lot of fun. So I've done some stuff with the Tenors. I've worked with the Canadian Brass. Like I've done. I for many years played guitar with Nelly Furtado. Toured the world with her.
That's right. I remember you did that. You played with her for a while as well. Yeah. You've had a really, really great experience.
I've been very, very fortunate.
You've been blessed. You've definitely been blessed.
Yeah, absolutely, very, very fortunate. And with all good people. Gilby Clarke from Guns N' Roses.
But you're talented.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
No, but you're talented, and the thing is that you got one of these kinds of personalities that you're a true collaborator.
You know what? I think that's I appreciate that, and I think it's true. I prefer to collaborate. It's funny. I actually had two things where I was my band Crash Kelly, where I was the leader of the band, but I still had bandmates who contributed invaluably. But I also did some solo classical guitar records. I got to tell you, as much as that was a wonderful experience, and those have been the most successful records I've ever done with the classical records, I like working with people. I like to be a foil. And I also a foil for great songwriters. I think I'm an energizer as a writer. I can bring in guitar riffs, I bring in ideas, but I work with some really great like Lee Aaron, Dave Reimer, like these are Brian Vollmer, really great song craft people who can really.
You didn't just help on the writing of and performance. It's all your guitar work on Stuck in the 80s as well, right?
Yeah, I did the guitars on that one. I did all the guitars on that one, and that was a blast. Going to London and working with Daryl Gray and Aaron Murray in the studio, and yeah, man, I love playing on that stuff. And even on some of the other stuff where it was songs where we're trying to cop the feel of 80s Helix, right? Going back and really listening to how Paul Hackman would have played something, wonderful. And a learning experience. It's always a learning experience.
And the cool thing was that I understood that they were able to rescue some bits and parts of bed tracks that helped you guys use reference points for actually recording. So the cool thing about this, and I think the great thing about having Daryl Gray involved in that project, is he's always about the integrity of the music and the integrity of Helix music being true to its form.
Yeah. And sorry, go ahead.
No, I think this album is the epitome of that.
100%, to the point where he's driving me a little nuts, to be honest with you, but he was right. And this is why you got to stay open. Because a couple of times, I did tracks. I'm going, what the hell is the matter with that? That's the part. But it wasn't the way Paul would have played it. And that was so key, because the minute we locked into the thing where it was right, I heard it and I felt it. And I went, aha. And that is solely because Daryl he's really kind of the musical legacy keeper of that band. He's a music director. He understands Helix music. And that's that's why you get an album that sounds like that. And it's captured in the fidelity it's captured in because of a guy like Aaron Murray. That's the power of those people and what they bring to it.
And the cool thing about that is that that is something, and I got to make a couple of comments here because we've got people watching this show that don't normally watch the show, and it's because you're on here tonight.
My mom. I my mom to tune in, so we got to watch the language there.
Caleb Duck says you're a class act.
Oh, you know what? This year we did some dates with Helix, and one of the best parts of that was reconnecting with Caleb because I have so much respect for him as a person and as a player. I mean, I don't know where he finds the notes. I don't have those.
Yeah, he's a monster, isn't he?
Yeah, come on, man. Leave some shred for the rest of us.
He's our Canadian version of Zach Wilde.
He is.
He even kind of looks like him a little bit when he gets his war paint on.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, he's a great player and an even better person.
You know, you got to work with all these fun guys. Me working with Brian on the label, I've been allowed into that inner sanctuary, which is a very precious thing that I know to musicians. And I've been able to develop friendships and a bit of brotherhood with the guys in the band because we all come from so many of the same reference points.
Yeah.
And the passion that we all have for what we do, I think that is one of the things that bonds us. And it was certainly the reason that Brian approached me, but Brian wouldn't have come to me had it not been for Brent Durner.
Oh, so it's through Brent.
And it's that 3 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Is he on the record? No.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon. No, Kevin's not on the record.
He's a good guitar player.
But, it's just interesting, how you meet people throughout life, and a would-be person that you might know him. His name is Jerry Broughton.
I can't say. Maybe if I saw the face, but I can't place the name.
Anyways, he's the guy that connected me to Brent, and he didn't even know me from Adam. He saw me on the internet, watched what I was doing. He thought I was legit. He loved my business model, and he sent Brent to me.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Brent comes to me. Brent liked my ideas around managing his digital catalog.
Yeah.
And then he reached out to Brian, and then,
took off from there.
And then, through this whole process, I got to meet some really cool people like yourself.
Oh, right on.
You're an author too. I mean, how many books now?
I just delivered my third book. So my third book, it's called Battle Axes: A Hard Rockin' History of Pointy Guitars, and it's going to be coming out July 21st on ECW Press in Canada and through Simon & Schuster in the States and in Europe.
Wow, that's great.
All through ECW, but distributed by Simon & Schuster. And
so what's the thing behind the writing? I mean, you're a musician first, right? You're a writer second, right?
Well, it's funny. I kind of take a holistic approach to everything I do. It's all based on I see things through the prism of a 16-year-old. I really do.
Nice.
That got me. Even as I'm an elementary school music teacher, right? I mean, I teach like a 16-year-old rock and roller. I mean, I just have to, kind of watch my mouth more. But I have that kind of passion. I am as excited about that as playing in a stadium someplace with a band as I am about working in the basement on a studio thing, as I am about writing books. And I write books about what I love, and that's rock and roll, right? 80s rock. My first book was Metal on Ice, about Canadian hard rock. Then I did Don't Call It Hair Metal, which is, kind of a critical defense of 80s rock. And then this guitar book.
You probably would be great at offering some instruction to some young artists out there. Like if you were to, a young artist was to come to you right now and said, they're good, they got the right look, they got the right music. What would your first piece of advice to them to be?
Well, it's funny. I did this work for a long time. I was a music director, Coalition Music company that Rob Lanny and Eric Lawrence formed. And so I worked with a lot of bands, putting bands together and also mentoring them through. I worked for many years at a company called Canada's Music Incubator, which was part of that. So, the first thing I say is, what do you love to do? Because it's the love that's going to carry you through all the shit you're going to have to walk through. And the good news is also the bad news. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it. That's the good news and the bad news. If you think, oh, I'm going to give it 5 years and look, maybe it'll work, but probably not, right? You just have to do it because you have to do it. So what I always say is make the music you absolutely want to make. Make the music that excites you. Don't worry too much about chasing trends. I mean, there are some people who have a slightly different mindset. I think they are able to stay. They're passionate about staying on top of trends and pop trends, and they write like that, and they have success. They have great success. But my advice is always be open, collaborate, listen to other people, but at the end of the day, do the thing that fires up your soul. Do that.
Yeah. It's interesting because, I don't provide, as a record label, I don't provide our artists any kind of artistic direction at all.
Right.
That's the cool thing. I've always maintained that with our artists. You have free artistic control over what you want to produce, right? My job is to get out in front of as many people as we can, and your job is to continue to that work of selling your product.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's it. And you know what? No one's going to sell your product better than you. You will be your number one champion, and no one's going to do it for you. Even when, listen, I've seen the biggest major label thing. I was signed to a big American independent company called Century Media with my own band, and saw a pretty big machine at work. But listen, getting the record deal is absolute ground zero for where the real work begins.
Yeah.
And really, those days are not even something to be considered that much in the rock world. Really what a record deal used to look like, where they give you tour support, put you on a bus, and like that, forget about it. That's to the best of my knowledge, not the way it's going anymore.
No, I think the best chance that an artist actually does have in those terms is finding an independent record label that will work for them.
Yeah.
And then constructing their live team. And that means finding yourself a good booking agent.
Yeah.
Making relationships with a couple of good booking agents, and then, trying to slowly get your way in as an opening band for different acts and see if you can break in that way.
The most important thing you can do as a live act is be the place that people want to hang out. Because that's what it's about. It's how are you going to bring the people together to hang out? Like, you got to find your people. That speaks to what I was talking about earlier about being passionate, do the thing that you love, because you need to find the people who love that too and convince them through your hard work and your excellent show and your nonstop practice that this is the place where you're going to have the best time on Tuesday night. Because that's where you're starting. You're not starting on Friday, right? You're starting on a Tuesday.
No, exactly. And I want to get back to the album a little bit, the making of the album itself. I mean, so you got all these great guys that you're working with. They're currently in the Helix lineup. Some are Helix alumni. You've got Aaron Murray, who's worked with you guys before, and Brian knows him, loves the work that he does, and you guys set about to, what started out as a single or two ended up as an album.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had Stuck in the 80s written 6 years ago, I think. Like, I had to go back and look through files to find the demo I did, right? And we used that demo. I think my background vocals from the demo are on the record. Aaron loves doing that, right? He's a master of being able to extract it, but there's probably something, the energy of the performance or something.
I hear there are Paul Hackman ghost tracks in there,
which is amazing. Yes, and you feel that spirit of those guys. There's Fritz on there, and that's incredible, right? And I'm telling you, Helix fans. I'm a Helix. I played with them for a bit. I've worked with Brian for years. I'm a Helix fan first and foremost. So I'm telling you, Helix fans, when they get this record, are going to love it. Like, it is as close to what it would feel like to be going to Records on Wheels or A&A Records and picking up Wild in the Streets in 1987 as you're going to get.
Right. Is there anything new? Is there anything new coming out of the Aaron camp this year? Any new music?
Lee Aaron? She's working on. There's some big projects that are happening that I will leave for her to discuss. But there's definitely some really cool things that are happening in that camp. The live dates are coming in fast and furious. So that's fun. We got we're heading out with Prism in Vancouver in February, and then we've got a bunch of dates lined up for the summer all across Canada, and it looks like maybe Europe in the fall, which is exciting. But yeah, we're always talking about creative, collaborative things in the Lee Aaron Band, and
yeah, and I think this year, you know, with this album doing so well for Helix, we're going to see some more tour dates spring up for them. You guys are playing with them in Halifax this year.
Yeah, great festival. Loverboy, Kim Mitchell, Helix, right. Lee Aaron, Nick Gilder, Toronto, Haywire. It's going to be awesome, like all of our friends, right?
I'm hoping I'll be at that one.
Oh, yeah, that's great. I think that's one to bring the family to too. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't think anybody in the family is going to go that far because we may be living out west by that time. So if we if we are, I'll be flying out to Halifax and then meeting up with the boys there somewhere.
Oh, nice.
But, you know, it's funny. You have all these off times too when you're doing stuff. I remember playing at a couple of shows with Helix, and we all went out for a bite to eat.
Yeah.
And this waiter comes up to us and he says, "You guys like part of something that's going on here in town?" Well, I made a wisecrack remark. You'll have to ask Caleb about the story. Caleb will remember the story quite vividly. But we had this waiter in stitches with what we told him, why we were there.
Oh,
and so you can only imagine what was said.
I'm sure.
And everybody was just like, you know, playing along with it, especially Caleb. He got right into character. So we had this guy going for a minute though, and then I grabbed my mouth like I had a lure in it.
Yeah, right. He's on.
He realized we were jerking him around, right? But the fun that you have, I mean, camaraderie is a big deal in terms of maintaining writing relationships. You and Brian have not only been co-writers, you guys have been friends for a long time.
Very good friends, and you know, and you know, good friends. We don't, you know, we can talk politics and disagree. We can talk about anything, and respect is the name of the game. And it's something that sadly is a bit of a lost art these days, right? Where you can respect people's differences and respect each other. But we've got that. We've always had that because we've always dealt with each other fairly and honestly. So I love Brian, and he's always been so good to me. I know exactly where I stand with him. I love him like a brother, and you know, he's a good man. I see the good he does for other people. And I've got nothing but respect for him. And he's a super talented writer and a great singer.
And there's a lot at stake when you guys are doing this stuff because you guys are producing something together that is only better because you actually, you know, produced it together. It's you know, doing it on your own would be one different thing, but those songs that you and him have written were really meant to be joint product.
Well, see, and that's the thing, right? And that's why it's so nice. I love it. You know, it's always like a kind of easy proposition, 50-50 proposition. You don't have to ever think about it or worry about it because you just know the value the other person brings to the table, right? And also the trust. It's like, hey, sometimes it's like, hey, what do you think about giving this someone else a chance to listen to this and maybe add something? I'm like, great, or vice versa, you know? Like we brought in a friend of mine, Mo Berg, from The Pursuit of Happiness, and we wrote some songs together. And Mo just took some of our songs up another level. He's such a fantastic writer, right?
Right.
And so like that trust where it's like, yeah, okay, let's try it out. So
did you have the melody for this song for Stuck in the 80s?
I think the chorus, I think some of it was the melody, some of it was mine. But you got to remember, when Brian starts singing, he brings in all of that great phrasing. So the melodies change. So I would say it was probably a split on melody for sure and split on lyrics. It's so funny. I don't really think of it in terms of who brought whatever with Brian. I don't really, other people I write with, it's clear. Oh yeah, you've done the lyrics, you did the melody, I brought the riff, I brought this. But that with Brian, we just kind of throw things around till it's done.
Yeah, and when you're not keeping score that way, it frees you up to be creative, right?
You talk to, I've talked to a lot of great writers, and some people are like, nope, I know exactly what I contribute. And from a business perspective, I kind of get it. If that's what you're doing for your bread and butter, and then you want to go in like that, that's certainly your right.
Yep.
You're right as a copyright holder to argue that out. To me, it's just not how I want to spend my days on earth, is arguing about percentage points. I'd rather, that's all energy I could be put towards making something new. And money doesn't really matter to me. I want to have enough to be comfortable, but I'd rather see everybody get a pool if we get a hit song.
Well, it's interesting because, our label has always had that sort of philosophy that it's art before commerce.
Yeah.
And the art form is, to me, the most important part of what we do. We're not only here to get an art form out in front of people, but we're here to help preserve that legacy as well.
Right.
Yes. Because everything you're doing is legacy, right? The stuff that you're doing, the songs that you're writing, the songs you're recording, the songs you're playing, the books you're writing, those are all legacy.
Yeah, it's true. It's funny you mentioned that, because I just had this conversation with a friend of mine, and we were talking about legacy. And I vacillate between saying, yeah, that's cool, I want to leave something behind. But really, I think I'm more interested in the here and now experience that I am in legacy. Because it's not like I really sit back and listen to what I've done or go back and reread my book and go, oh, wow. I love the moment of creation. I love the process. I'm in love with the process. That's what I've realized recently. How much I love just going through the steps of making things. And then the stuff that comes after, it's great. It's almost like this moment of celebration where it's like, yeah, you hold the vinyl record or you see the YouTube video and you go, yeah, that's it. That's been done.
3 degrees of separation, brother. Michelle Truman.
Oh,
she says Sean's the man. So Michelle plays in a project with Chris Jolke.
Michelle is a workhorse. She's a wonder. She is, such a hard worker and so kind to everybody she meets. And I love her to death, and I hope she's doing well. And hello, Michelle. Love you.
Yeah, great to I'm glad you stopped by, Michelle. I want to have Michelle on the show sometime. So maybe you might help me with that by just saying, hey, Sean, say, Michelle, it's really painless to come on the show with Kenny. He won't hurt you.
I don't know. Right now, I don't know what I'm allowed to say. He's holding me hostage, Michelle. So run. No. Pretty painless. Pretty painless.
That's funny. So you guys write this song, and then Brian and I got talking about, what's the second song that we're going to put out. And we decided Fast and Furious, because it's really got that boom, that real driving sound to it. And to me, that was reminiscent of thinking back when I listened to it, there was a Motorhead influence on that song.
It's funny you mentioned that. I didn't have anything to do with the writing of that. Right. I just had the demo, but I played the guitar. I did the rhythm guitars on that. The leads are, I think, Chris and Caleb, and they are. I don't know if Chich is playing on that one or not, but whoever's playing on that, they're burning their fingers off, dude. They are flying.
Chris Jolke's doing all the stretches on the whammy bar. He's doing all the whammy bar work.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's on the wiggle stick there. Okay.
Yeah, he that guy's got the whammy bar down pretty good.
Yeah, amazing. But I did the rhythms, and it's funny. The Motorhead thing was exactly what I was going for. I said, yeah. But I'll tell you, it was a pain in the ass recording that song, because we tuned down a whole step and it was this summer, and I'm down here in the basement recording.
Oh no.
And it's already humid, and all my guitars are tuned up, right? So I've got them all set up for a certain tuning. I said, I got to tune down. And keeping that thing in tune when you're going but we got it. We got it through patience but you know what? I love the Motorhead thing, because that's exactly what I went for. I said, I don't know how tight this is going to be, but I'm going to rip your face off playing it. And that was it.
I really liked it because, you know, at every track, every single track, you know, I could go track by track on this album, and every single track has a great deal of thought into it.
Yep.
In terms of its presentation, in terms of its fit into the album mold itself.
Yeah.
Because some of those tracks were stuff that were already recorded, right?
Yeah, like Brian sent me a bunch of the demos early on, and they were written, but he said, hey, if you can hear parts or anything, you know, like I added a little bit to Hot, Heavy, and Wild. I added a little kind of a little line in there. Pretty Poison, I added a little middle eight to it. But really, it was great because you had the reference of the original guys playing on it, so you could copy the feel of the guitar, right?
There's another great song that I wanted Brian. I really wanted to put a third digital single out, and that was my other choice.
Hot, Heavy, and Wild?
No, it's Pretty Poison.
Oh, I hope you do. I hope you do, because you know what? I love that one. That's my favorite. I got to tell you, it's something's very melodic and sleazy and kind of rock that gets that Sunset Strip vibe.
I don't think we're going to put another single out before the release, because the release is coming out very soon on the 23rd.
Yeah.
So I think the plan is that after the album comes out, we're gonna take and reissue a single off the album, and it's probably going to be Pretty Poison. I think Brian was even thinking about a video.
Oh, great. Because you know what? I think that's a super catchy tune.
Oh, yeah. It's got a lot of attitude.
Yeah. And it's funny. Hold on. Which guitar did I use?
Look at that collection of guitars.
Yeah, I know the guitar for it. I brought it was even using the Warren DeMartini Charvel. Oh, look at this tape is from the session.
Oh, there you go.
I'm deaf, right? I don't hear anything anymore. But Aaron Murray could hear a little clink from the strings. Like, this is how good this guy's ears are. I'm going, huh? I don't hear anything. But he left it on, and I leave it on. So when I do my clinics, people will invariably ask me, why do you have that green tape? Well, it's funny you should mention that. And then I tell them. Yeah, this was a guitar I used on Pretty Poison. Actually, I didn't use this on. I used another one, but it's too far in the back. Oh, no. Maybe you can see it. That guy there. That's the Jake E. Lee. I used my Jake E. Lee. So I had Jake E. Lee and Warren DeMartini well represented with my Charvels.
And what kind of pickups are in that?
In the Jake E. Lee?
Yeah.
It's 2 DiMarzio single coils that are slanted the other way. So it's actually, you get, here, I'm going to show you the guitar. Because no one else in my house wants to hear about my guitars. Here we go. So what's cool about this one? Like Hendrix, right? When Hendrix used to play, he used to flip the guitar. He played right-handed guitars flipped upside down. But what happened was the pickups would be, when you switch the strings around, the neck, the high E string would be, you'd get this warmer sound because it's closer to the neck, and then you get this more biting sound on the single coil, and it gives you these really cool tones. So it's 2 DiMarzio single coils, and then Seymour Duncan distortion there.
So is that a right-handed guitar or left-handed?
Yeah, it's a right-handed guitar, but the pickups are just slanted.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so the single coils, but yeah,
to change that sound.
Yeah, it's great. So this was a guitar that stuck in the '80s guitar for the leads, and the other one was. Hold on, I'll show you one more because it's worth seeing. But the rhythm guitars on both of them were this, and this is my signature model, Godfrey.
Okay.
It's called the X-Squire. It's a half Explorer, half Fender X-Squire.
I see that.
Yeah. With this is a Pariah. I work with a company called Pariah Pickups. Sean at Pariah makes these incredible pickups. And there's actually one hidden underneath here as well that you can't see.
Wow.
That I can engage with this push-pull. So yeah, this is my
that bridge pickup on there. That's a single coil?
It is a humbucker, but it's like a stacked.
It's a stacked humbucker.
Yeah. So it fits like a single coil.
No single coil hum.
No. It just screams like a band.
Just lots of bite.
Yeah, it's a great. So yeah, and it's got the telly bridge. So.
Oh, nice.
Cool guitar, man.
Wow. You got quite the collection there.
Yeah, buddy. Bit of an issue. Bit of an issue, but it's okay. And more on the wall too, but I won't bore you with that.
It's a terrible addiction, isn't it?
Yeah, you know what? It could be worse.
I now have you ever landed an endorsement for guitar?
Oh yeah, I was with a number of companies. I'm doing the clinics for Charvel right now, so I have a good relationship with them. But I was with BC Rich for years, with
Right.
Crash Kelly. BC Rich, I was with Yamaha for classical guitars. I was with Gibson when I was with Nelly Furtado, which turned into a Kramer. I've worked with Aria for a little bit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I've worked with a lot of different companies, and of course, my relationship with Les Godfrey. Dave Reimer is another person. The bass player in Lee Aaron's band is also a world-class guitar maker, and he made me. Hold on, is that one close by? I got to show you this guitar too.
Oh, nothing like having a buddy that's a luthier.
Well, see, because I love the '80s, but I also love the '70s, right?
Right.
And this guitar, that's a '70s DiMarzio.
Right.
This is a single cut, double cutaway. He calls it the Montreux, and this guitar is unbelievable. It sounds
it looks you know what? It looks like almost like an SG.
Yeah, it's got the SG vibe. It's got a bit of a junior vibe, but really it's got a
I saw the junior vibe in the body too.
It's got the melody maker vibe, and it's funny. It was inspired by conversations we had about Joan Jett's guitar.
Okay.
Because Joan Jett's guitar actually belonged to Eric Carmen from the Raspberries, and we love the Raspberries. We're like, oh man, it's so cool, a rock machine. And this thing has been. You can see how much I played the guitar, and how much I changed the volume knob.
Like that, is that half the weight of a Les Paul?
Yeah. Oh, it's light as a feather, and it plays like a dream. It's absolutely
and great sustain, no doubt.
Oh yeah, man! If you could go for a bite, it'd still be ringing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, man. So I got lots of fun fiddles here, and I also, I'm working with Godin guitars. I play their acoustic guitars as well, and they're acoustic guitars. Rick Emmett actually turned me on to them. I did a gig with Rick. We did a little acoustic thing, and because we're both authors for the same publisher, and he turned me on to Godin. So there's so many great companies out there. I'm very lucky to get to work with.
Brent Durner's watching tonight, so you might want to say hi to Brent.
Hello, doctor. The doctor is in. The doctor will see us.
The doctor's in. Well, Michelle, if you were actually watching us still, I am going to hold him hostage for just a little while longer, and I'm hoping that he comes back on the show. I'm going to put him in a headlock and choke him out until he says that he will. But that's how fast an hour goes by on this show.
Yeah, man.
Great having you here on the show, Sean Kelly. Great guitar player, songwriter, recording artist, author. And are there other things I'm missing?
Elementary school teacher.
Yeah, accomplished dude. Great advice for fledgling musicians as well tonight. I really appreciate that.
Of course.
Thanks for being on the show. Remember, this has been the Indie Show. I'm Kenny. You're not. Have a great end of your week, everybody. Peace out.